Hey, everybody, it is so wonderful to be here with everybody. And I am so excited to introduce you all today to wonderful people that are going to be sponsoring an event that I'm doing. First of all, I'm Joe Navarra, and I'm so excited to be here today with my friends and sponsors, David Riddell, Robin Thomas, Melinda Fargas, Charles Calloway, and last but not least, Gary Zeller. I'm so excited to have you all here. Our other sponsor, Ed Meyer, couldn't make it, but we do. Well, you'll see him next week at our event. I'm really excited about this new event that we have coming up on Tuesday, February 23rd, called Breaking Through Your Business Barriers. And we're going to be dealing during that event. We're going to be talking about what I have seen to be, with many of my coaching clients, 5 of the most common barriers that people face when it comes to growing their business, which is prospecting, money, marketing, networking, and then to hire or to outsource. Okay, and those are some of the areas we're going to focus on during the workshop. Okay, and I can't think of 6 better people, Ed included, that will help during the breakout sessions. So what will happen is I will be presenting, a little bit on each of those topics, my experience, and that I've dealt with over my 30-year career in business. And then what we'll do is we'll go into breakout sessions so that you, our audience, will then be able to work in collaboration and education on how to better improve your life and business moving forward. And I'm so thrilled to have this great group of people to be working with for that event. Yes, exactly. Let's so David Riddell of Big Frog, what I want to hear from, if you wouldn't mind just sharing for a minute or two, first of all, I'd love to hear, tell us a little bit about your business. If you can give us your 30-second commercial about your business so that people know who you are and what you do. And then what would you say was a barrier you had when the pandemic started last year? What was a barrier over this past year that you think that you had to break through in order to stay successful? Because I know you've been successful, and I've visited both your stores, Durham and Asheville, and I'm just thrilled. I was so excited to see the people that have been, the foot traffic that you still had. So yeah, if you, I don't want to talk for you. You go ahead and just share a little bit about yourself.
Perfect. Well, thank you. David, Big Frog Custom T-shirts in South Durham. We just hit 10 years during the pandemic, which is always a good milestone, especially with those odds. We are your local apparel branding experts. You should be wearing your logo everywhere you go on all types of apparel. Think about being seen in the bank line, the grocery store, at the gym, right? That's the perfect ROI. And so we're a retail-based space where you can come in and sing and dance and touch and feel, and no minimums, free design, all of that different apparel. We help you find the right solutions for your style, your brand, and your budget, all of which matter. So it's not just a generic shirt, right? You got to feel the part, but you have a budget. We are events-based. Even with uniforms, you don't buy uniforms to wear in the office or sitting at home. You wear them to be seen outside. And churches, schools, nonprofits, camps, they're all events based, all the races, the runs, etc. We're also a retail store, as mentioned. And so the world shuts down in what we do. So we had to find ways, and pivot is the word, unfortunately. But with the store, I mean, there's a lot more online and phone and virtual, but in the stores, whether it's set up a barrier, we're wearing masks, we're completely clean, so we can still invite people in. The other side from an event, we had to find other avenues, and that was setting up fundraising sites for our clients. And we wrote $10,000 in checks last year for raising money for others to help them keep their logo visible. So in anything, uncertain times, you can sit and rest on your laurels, or you can say, let's find different avenues.
So I would say that prospecting and marketing were 2 barriers that you were able to break through during the pandemic. That's
Yeah, and
great.
staffing is one of your five, and never underestimate your staff. Never take them
True.
for granted. I didn't lose anybody. They went away for unemployment, but came back with PPP. They were all happy to come back for PPP at their salary rather than rest on double or triple that the unemployment was paying. They all wanted to be here, and they're the reason I'm successful because I can't do it all myself. It's a team.
That's awesome, man. That's wonderful.
Man, that's great.
Yeah. Hey, Gary. So, one of the things over this past year of doing a lot of virtual meetings together is I've really enjoyed just how positive you are and how you have led. I've watched you lead some of these groups virtually. And, and just like you've been calling the charge to keep people showing up and staying engaged on these networking events. And I've so appreciated that. But just share with us a little bit about the what you do, and then what has been your biggest breakthrough, or what have you been able to do to break through this past year to stay in business and active?
Well, thanks, Joe. Thanks for having me again and asking me to be one of the sponsors. I've been to so many of your events, and I always walk away with one nugget at least, and always helps. And so I appreciate that. Yeah. I'm Gary Zeller with the Zeller Realty Group, brokered by eXp Realty. And our business is pretty much like any other real estate business in the area. We assist our clients to help sell their homes or find a new home. Now, in this market where the inventory has been so low, that has not been easy. There just are not homes available. And a lot of people go new construction route. And but as far as a barrier in breaking through with this pandemic, eXp has not been impacted to any great degree because of that, because unlike most firms that have brick and mortar, we are cloud-based. So we don't deal with that. But when it comes to the clients in their homes, we do. And in my situation, we even for open houses, we're able to have them because we do use hand sanitizers, booths. We provide masks. If they don't have it, we don't let more than one showing occur at a time. So we've taken those steps to improve that. The other thing, as you mentioned, is the networking groups. Now, before we got to see each other in person, which took time, but with the Zoom, it's been good. Now, what I noticed, there are a lot of people, especially in real estate, for some reason, aren't attending these meetings. But if you do it on a continuous basis, people get to know you. And the other thing is doing one-on-one, so they really know you personally. I can't explain the eXp business model here in 30 seconds.
Right.
But when I sit down with them and talk to them, it's one of those things that once they hear it, they cannot forget it. And they will come back. It may take them a month or two. So we are looking for other realtors at this time as much as anything.
I can't believe how much eXp has grown. It's
Yeah,
every time I turn around, people who have been with established real estate firms for years, I see all of a sudden a new job on LinkedIn. I'll see new job at eXp Realty, and I'll be like, wow, like it's just over and over I'm seeing that. You guys must be offering something that's of value that a lot of the other firms aren't.
Yeah, and it is for the realtors, but as we went from 7,000 when I joined 3 years ago to over 43,000 agents right now. It takes staff to support that in our virtual world. And so they are hiring a lot of salaried employees, not just agents.
That's fantastic. Great. Good for them. Bravo. So for anybody who knew me 8 years ago, which I don't think anybody, well, no, Melinda did, and Robin obviously did. I was much heavier. I was much more stressed out. I was not in the best shape, and Robin was a friend already, and she had gotten some printing from me and things like that when I owned my printing company. But when one day, a little over almost 8 years ago, I reached out to Robin and said I needed to make some changes. And so Robin started to help me with my health. And so here we are, 8 years later, and I'm in the best shape of my life. I feel good. I feel healthy, and I'm just a much happier person for that. So I use that intro as just to let you know that that Robin is the real deal when it comes to health and wellness. So I'm going to leave it in your lap from there, Robin, and then
Wow.
you can also just share a
What
little bit
more?
about, because I've watched you this past year, and you've made some amazing breakthroughs through the
Yeah.
pandemic. So I'd love to hear about it from you, your business, and that.
Yeah, absolutely. I left my career as a research scientist, medical research scientist at UNC, because of family reasons. Started a wellness business. I can't believe it, Joe. Nearly 17 years ago.
Wow.
So it is my passion, and what I like best is helping. I love to help individuals come out of that overwhelm, and help guide them through simple habits, along with a fantastic company I'm associated with USANA Health Sciences. So I combine the two, the simple habits that help improve their health, plus the products that really help. When COVID came, it's interesting. My husband and I knew COVID was coming in December before it came, because so we were mentally prepared, all kind of mentally prepared. I think he was better than I. But one of the things that I saw is like, oh my gosh, what I like to do is work with individuals on a personal basis. And, I'd like to meet with people one-on-one. And I'm going like, well, how am I going to do that? So prospecting was actually the first thought, that how am I going to do that? I had been working online also. I've been doing sort of a dual. So I just pushed more emphasis on online, but also getting my message out. I jumped into video, started doing lots of videos, started doing some video courses of my own, and I really connected with people. As Gary said, the networking, the Zoom networking really helped me. It really did. I am an introvert, so it actually was a silver lining, like, hey, I can get on Zoom, and then I can get off Zoom, go out to my garden and be in the garden for a little while. But I also jumping back to one-on-ones is the biggest thing that has helped. That, and also the videos, I'm doing a lot more videos. People are seeing who I am. So I am Robin Thomas, and I'm with USANA Health Sciences, which my science background is just the best science out there I've seen on nutritional supplements. And I also started a community called Living Well Connections, which has grown and thrived. And I'm always looking for people who are interested in wellness, want information. It's a free community, and very supportive. We have a lot of practitioners in there too. So it's a good place to find answers and just get support.
That's awesome. Thank you so much, Robin. So that brings us to my friend Melinda Fargas of Action Travel. So Melinda, I know that, for a lot of folks in the travel industry, it was a wacky year, but I've seen you, I've watched some of your videos, I've watched your Facebook Lives, so that's, and I don't want to take away, share what you did, but I know that you've really worked hard this past year to keep things going. So just, first of all, share a little bit about your business, and then tell us, what was your biggest barrier to break through this year? And I know what it was, but I want to hear it from you.
Well, there's been a few. I mean, I immediately got into some training. I watched 100 days of mindset, and my mom said, okay, put that mindset to use and let's declutter. And so we did. So I was going to go rent a spot at Melville's downtown Mebane and put all that stuff in it. And it was full. I wanted the window spot. If I couldn't have the window spot, I would wait. So she finally told me I had one. I bought all the racks. And when I went to sign the paper, she said, oh, I just let it go. So I walked out dejected, walked down the sidewalk 20 feet, and I thought, why am I paying somebody else for a window spot? I have a 16 by 10 foot window. and I opened Clay Street Antiques and Treasures. It's just been a cool, quirky place. You know, I've met tons of great people. Everybody does like to talk about travel, and because we've had to push it out, I focus on our professional development journeys trip, and that's been my wheelhouse this year. So in September, we're taking a group to Hawaii. Vacation and write it off of your taxes. How much easier is that? And we've got great speakers. We are still coursing Joe to bring his bride and let us show him the rainbows. I promise you rainbows before the end of the year if you go with us. Anyway, I've had lots of fun. I've met lots of new connections. I've grown myself. The business has grown. I've got a team, and that's been really important because, yeah, I tried to do it all. So,
And so tell us your name and the name of your business again.
okay, Melinda Fargas. I own Action Travel Incorporated. We just celebrated 30 years during the pandemic, and Clay Street Antiques and Treasures was a derivative of that. And Professional Development Journeys is online, professionaldevelopmentjourneys.com, and you can see how you can go with us. And I've just been trying to get around Joe's because he's got all these popular people.
And you can always find, and anybody who wants to know, you can find Melinda in Mebane on Clay Street.
1, 2.
I feel
Mebane,
tired.
North
Her 3
Carolina.
businesses. I thought I was busy. I'm like, she got 3 done. She wins. Up the mic.
Right. And so last but not least, somebody who's just a wonderful person I've really enjoyed getting to know these past few years. He's just a super wonderful person. And he also did gave himself in service to our country for many years through the Air Force. And so I'm just really excited to have Charles as one of my sponsors again. And Charles, why don't you tell us a little bit about your business and as a financial advisor, and then share a little bit about what you would say was a good, one of the best breakthroughs you've had in the past year.
Sure. Thanks, Joe. I appreciate you. I consider it an honor to be able to sponsor you and your programs, man. I love the fact that you invite the people you're teaching to come alongside you. You open up your life to them, and they see the real. It's not just polish. I love that. I think you guys can all agree with that, right? And so I'm honored to do that. And again, my name is Charles Calloway. I'm a financial advisor. What does that mean? Well, there's so many of us out there. Let me just kind of explain something that's unique about. I focus on small business owners and their teams. And one of the things that always comes to mind when I do my work is that most people have a good idea what they want, but they're not quite sure on how to get there. And that's where a good financial advisor comes in. You know, we all have access to all the investments and all the different tools. But one of the things you want with a financial advisor is someone that's going to bring the tools with them, but also bring their ear and really get involved in life. And so a couple of things, we spend a lot of time bringing tools. We have a cutting edge digital tool that works a lot like a GPS, but it's for your money decisions. And so I have that. And the other thing is I have a teacher's heart. So you and Joe, we have that in common, Guy. And I love to teach. If a person doesn't get it, I don't see that light behind their eyes. I want them to get it, and that's how you work, Joe, as well. And I give them access. I like to say I give them access. I have something for everyone. I have clients that just started doing $25 a month into a quality mutual fund. I have a client we just onboarded last month that has $2.6 million. And so, and everything in between. And so oftentimes in my profession, unfortunately, some people get excluded. And I think that's not right. So anyway, so that's what I do about me. But, last year, Corona, man, I tell you, it came out of the left field. I was used to, I had adapted to getting out and getting into communities and doing a lot of speaking engagements live. And man, I'm wondering if we're just going to shut down. But what happened is I learned the use of technology. And so the biggest thing I had to break through is how to adapt the networking that I was doing previously to what I was doing going through Corona. And And that was tough. And I think a lot of it happened because I was forced to. I had access to Zoom for years, but I very rarely used it. Now it's like an indispensable tool, right? I did speaking engagements, but I'm doing now speaking engagements via Zoom. I just did one last with a group of 15 people, of people considering and weighing the options with divorce on Saturday. So I had to adapt. I had to figure out how to do that. And you know what? I don't think I'll ever go back. My work life will never go back to the way it was. And I think that is a lot of what stepping outside your comfort zone is all about. And this morning, Joe, you were talking in one of your email came to me this morning. I was reading it, and I love how you say that it's all right to have a goal. And I'm not going to quote you exactly, but you say sometimes what prevents us from going toward those goals is we have these stories. We have these stories that we tell ourselves, and it prevents us. And so we all were forced to tell ourselves a new story last year. Mm-hmm. And now we look back and we say, hey, we're better for it.
We did it.
We did it. So,
yeah.
And we got more journeys to go. So
that's right. Thank you, Charles, so much. And I love that. I couldn't think of a better way to close this out. So thank you so much. And listen, everybody, our workshop is going to be Tuesday, February 23rd from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Come prepared, bring a pen and paper. We're going to have it's going to be a lot of wonderful information that you're going to learn, and you'll walk away a little smarter than you came. So
that's right.
So, I'll put all the information in the comments for you to go ahead and register. And thank you again, David, Melinda, Robin, Charles, and Gary. I think the world of you all. And Ed Meyer, we're sorry you couldn't be here from Island Media, but we'll see you on Tuesday as well. All right, everybody, have a wonderful rest of the day, and I will see you all.